Good. But we took more time. Just I wanted to survey the entire law relating to specific performance and comparative law also. Therefore, of course, we had some more work also. Brother was there in Harvard. We are allowing appeal, your appeal, and we are decreeing. We have decreed the suit. We have levied a cost of rupees 1 lakh on first defendant. Then apart from that, whatever amount you have deposited, that amount shall go to the second defendant who appears to be innocent. We wanted to levy 5 lakh rupees cost on first defendant who has defrauded you. Therefore, anything you want to say on cost? We are allowing the appeal, their appeal, dismissing your appeal with the cost of rupees 5 lakh. Do you have anything to say on the cost quantum? There is a fraud played by your client on the buyer of the property, and fraud is compounded because she sold it to a second defendant for much higher value. So we are levying 5 lakh rupees additional cost, which you have to pay because of your cross objections. Do you want to say anything on that? Not bona fide. It's a fraud, first order, fraud of first order. Yes. Very well. We'll do it 1 lakh rupees instead of 5. Okay. It reads like this: operative portion. Listen, I have surveyed the entire law relating to specific performance in the regions past week. We agree with your contention that that amendment is not with retrospective effect. He has given that material. Anyway, appeal in RFA number 178 of 2015 is allowed, and the impugned judgment and decree of court below are set at naught. Appellant suit in OS number 271 of 2009 is hereby decreed for specific performance of a contract for sale of suit land with costs. The second defendant is directed to execute and register the sale deeds in favor of appellant plaintiff affecting the suit land within 8 weeks, usual terms and conditions applying thereto. Because of section 83 of the Trust Act, he holds that property in trust, so he has to execute that sale deed. The RFA, the amount deposited in the court below by the plaintiff shall be paid to the second defendant on his executing and registering the sale deeds as directed above. However, if he fails to do it, the court shall execute and register or cause that to be done by taking all requisite steps therefore within 3 months. RFA cross objection of the first defendant is dismissed with a cost of rupees 1 lakh only, which he shall remit to the plaintiff within 8 weeks, failing which he shall be liable to pay rupees 500 per day of delay for the first month and rupees 1000 per day for the period next following. It is open to second defendant buyer pendent litigate to institute appropriate legal proceedings against the first defendant seller for refund of money paid by him minus the amount which he is entitled to receive from the court deposit as mentioned in para 2 above, and for such other relief. Frauds and cheats. We have made what all fraud she has played. We have just narrated. All right. Yes, sir. On Madikodi.
Land grabbing court has passed an order. Only one document now. Jurisdiction. Ivaga jurisdiction illa anta agide ivaga. This section 2 is amended. Within so and so kilometer matra jurisdiction ide anta helidare. But what had happened was this matter is matter where 1950s, an Englishman was settled in between Kungal and Tumkur. This was a place where there was 100 Kalyanis and 100 temples of Hoysala, Vijayanagar kings. Adranalli he started a school. Panchayat felt that high school start madbekan 50s alle grant madru. But now power that all those controversies were there. But Panili 1965 in the Panili there. Now the civil, I had filed a civil suit against the government. That civil suit was transferred to the special court. Special court, without waiting, I made a mention to the special court. Another matter is pending before you take both of matters together. Anta. He did not take and he transferred the matter. That was challenged and interim order was passed by this court. Now the other matter, the special court has closed the case on the ground that it has no jurisdiction in view of the amendment to Land Grabbing Act, Section 2. Tumkur town in the 15 kilometers Durdalide anta. I'll pass on that order sheet.
Amendment is with the retrospective effect or prospective?
All pending proceedings.
They cover pending proceedings.
Section 2. Even then, I am better off here because the matter can be decided on merits. But this matter has to go back to the Tumkur civil court. Howdu.
Nim suit and transfer madyaru.
Howdu. Nan suit.
Oh, who appears for the
last 2 times she took time.
Covered by judgment. Namdon judgment to ide.
Howdu.
Adralli.
Just for the sake of it, transfer matak bardilla.
Correct. We have held that way. Can you get that judgment?
I will.
Please. We are allowing this.
I will pass on the judgment to the. Please.
The subject matter of this petition is substantially similar to the one we decided in WP number so and so, between so and so, heard and disposed of on such and such date. First off, in the said decision, we have made the transfer of pending suits to the special court under 2012 Act. 2012 Act on normative basis. First off, this up next paragraph. Structuring our judgment that way, we have granted relief to the litigant therein. First off, the net counsel appearing for the petitioner is right in telling us that like cases should be decided alike, and if relief is granted to a person, the same cannot be denied to similarly circumstanced litigant, subject to all just exceptions, into which argued case of the respondent does not fit. First, next paragraph. Learned counsel for the petitioner is right in telling us 2011 Act or 12 Act? 12 Act. 11 Act. 2011 Act.
Annexure, even order of the special court has to be set aside.
Yes, we have to do that. Okay. Next, that apart, learned counsel appearing for the petitioner is also right in telling us that section, yav amendment agiddu? 2. Section 2(1) of the 2011 Act has been amended.
And within the city limits, 10 kilometers durdalidre baradilla.
Prescribing the limits from the periphery of the city limits.
Tumkur is a city.
The land in question being situated
beyond 10 kilometers.
Beyond 10 kilometers of the periphery of Tumkur city corporation. City corporation. First, we are told that on this premise,
the special court in another process.
The special court, new idea adರಲ್ಲಿ?
ಹೌದು, ಇದೇ subject matter.
The special court in
I have given that.
so and so case between the same parties.
Not between the same parties or another party. Same matter, subject matter.
ನಿಮ್ದಲ್ಲ.
ಇದೆ same ನಮ್ದೇ.
ನಿಮ್ದೇ. Wherein petitioner was also a party.
Yes. And in same
party
subject matter.
Has sent back the suit proceedings to
It has closed the proceedings.
closed the
petitioner
proceedings,
hೌದು.
closed the proceedings on the ground that it does not have jurisdiction. Full stop. Next paragraph. In the above circumstances, this petition is allowed. Semicolon. A writ of certiorari issues quashing the impugned proceedings pending before the special court. Semicolon. Petitioner's suit in OS number
477 of 2011.
477 of 2011
Before the second additional civil judge.
is reverted to the court of
Second additional
learned second additional
civil judge. Junior division at Tumkur.
Junior division at Tumkur. Comma, all contentions of the parties being left open in the said suit. First, courts made easy.
Parties to appear before the court on this.
Parties through their counsel are put to notice to appear before the jurisdictional civil court on
Any date,
on the journal held
10th June or 12.
on
And just
10th of June.
please,
June, holding a copy of this judgment and seek orders, appropriate orders at his hands.
One academic issue. Maharaja had granted the granting aid ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು 1950s. 15 years these persons are arrested. Lakhs together students studied.
How Maharaja will give it in 1950? All Maharajas were abolished 1947.
53 Raja Pramukh. 53. ಅದು ಗೆಜೆಟ್ ಆಗಿ one of the finest institutions 1953. 15 years they suffered in the courts.
Sometimes life plays that P.B. Shelley, the way she tells in one poem, I fall on the thorns of life and I bleed. Many times we only go and fall on the thorns. ಸುಸುತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ ದಾರಿ, ಆ ದಾರಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡು ಮುಳ್ಳಿನ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಬೀಳ್ತೇವೆ ನಾವು ಏನೇನೋ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ.
Despite the Supreme Court in that Tumala case, which said the government after 40-50 years cannot come and just say that some semblance has to be there. I'm sorry.
ಆ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಒಂದು ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಆ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಅವರು ಮೊದಲಿದ್ರು ನಮ್ಮ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ, ಚಂದನಿ, she had appeared in that matter. Get that copy of the judgment.
Tumala.
Chandani appeared. Aditya will get it.
Please.
Yes, get that copy. Okay. Please. Why that police officer is standing? Ask him to sit down. Come sit down. This is open court. Where are you standing when seats are vacant? Chairs are vacant. Yes.
Lord, I appear, my lord, for the appellants. Senior counsel is on his legs. My lord, on the last, this is the matter concerning the minority and oppression case petition filed by.
Where you were appointed as amicus curiae. You have to assist us.
On the last date, my lord, while during course of arguments, your lordship had inquired as to whether what is the material to show that the market value of the property is as per what we claim and not as per what the petitioner claims. Petitioner claims that the market value is quite higher than what we had sold it for. That is the primary allegation. My lord, I am filing an application, my lord, along with certain documents where the purchaser of the appellants had made sites and sold the property. The encumbrance certificate, my lord, indicates the value of that land and the sale deeds also. And few subsequent events that have taken place that may have a bearing on this matter. I'll just file along with an application.
Whether sale deeds are executed during the pendency of the proceedings?
My lord,
then they are hit by 52.
Yes, my lord. I believe they are executed before that.
Before.
6/7/2006 is the sale deed. 6/7/2006 is the sale deed that I have sought to produce.
Proceedings were instituted on which date?
2009, if I'm not wrong.
Then what happens?
In 2006.
We may hold oppression is another thing.
Yes.
Fraud, oppression, these things we can hold. But what we can do to those who have innocently bought the property much before, and they were not parties?
No, my lord.
They are not parties.
402.
Yes.
The erstwhile company law board And before that, this honorable court, in exercise of 397, 398, 402, could set aside any contract involving the non-compete.
But without them
Third,
making.
But as your lordship say, they ought to have been heard. So the practice was always to make anybody who is the beneficiary of largest amount of the company to make them a party before the.
In fact, the prayer sought.
But without setting them that also, we can make appropriate direction to him. If he has played fraud.
Under 543 as it applies to operation mismanagement. If there is, for example, if your lordship come to the conclusion that the market value was X and it is sold below that, the difference between the market value and
That he should make good.
it can be surcharged to the person.
Right.
543 of the Act, my lords, applies to winding up, where the erstwhile management can be surcharged with misfeasance, whatever is cost to the company. The same, by way of a schedule, is also made applicable to operation mismanagement.
Okay.
Lord, in fact, the prayer sought is not for the land. The prayer is that you have sold it below market value. You assess the market value. Give me the equivalent amount that I am
Therefore,
entitled to. And
they need not be parties.
yes, my lord. And there is no interim order that binds me to say don't sell. It was only the question of
all right, we
compensation.
understand. There need not be. There is
Yes.
one section 53 of Transfer of Property Act, which says any transfer of property intended to delay or defraud the creditor. The word creditor being very extensively interpreted by Allahabad High Court, by Justice Dixit of Allahabad High Court. So you can't say other things at all. Anyway,
No, no, this is only for the limited point.
any discussion we have heard already,
Yes.
you know what we are going to do also. Any talks took place?
My lord, talks, my lord,
Uh-huh.
we have offered, we have made some suggestions of talks, but the other side has to respond, my lord. That is.
I to call our senior, let him go, and we have
Yes.
vacation.
Your lordship may pass over, my lord.
Huh?
Your lordship may pass over.
Pass over.
These applications I may formally file, my lord. Just
Which are those applications?
the application to bring on record those documents, that's all. To indicate
What
that
is the procedure generally?
there's an provision under the company court rules as it was then, 1959, which permits the appellants to produce additional documents before the company court. This being an appellate court, my submission is, my lord, similar powers could be exercised by this
Almost
court.
on par with 4123.
I have invoked that as well, my lord. 41 rule
include that
27
also.
read with this.
There are two aspects. One is under 10F of the Act, the appeal is on any question of law. The second aspect is that this jurisdiction is equitable in nature, and therefore there may be
And
causes of operation mismanagement by the nature are continuing. In fact, it is required to be continuing in order for the tribunal to exercise. Therefore, my lord, the lordship should take the overall.
ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಪೋನೆಂಟ್ ಅವರು ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡೆಂಟ್?
Mr. KV Satish appears for them.
ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ?
Yes.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಕ್ರೂಟಿನಿ ಆಗಿ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ?
Yes, I'll file it.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವರು ಈಗ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬರೋದು ಯಾವಾಗ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
I'll follow up in the registry, my lord.
That's all right. We have to call our brother na
Yes.
from Dharwad.
No, if your lordship passes over, I may attempt to bring it, place it before your lordship's
ಹೋಗಿ
bench.
ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗಿ ಪಾಸ್ ಅವರು
yes.
ಫೈಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು
Yes.
ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಗೆ ತರಿಸಿ ಪಾಸ್ ಓವರ್. Yes. ಬೇಡ ಏನು ಕಾಂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು appears to be a case of fraud ಹೋದ್ರ ಅವರು appears to be a case of blatant fraud, but anyway we are just letting you know what is lurking in our mind. We may pass, we do not know.
In fact, that is the reason why we intend to file this application showing the documents.
Appears to be a blatant fraud for love of money. Anyway, let us see. Yes.
Lordships appearing through BC, appearing for petitioner. In this case, the mediation process is on and it's in progress. It is
Have common sense.
Lords, the petitioner, my lords, had yesterday called Lords, they instructed, my lords, that they have a buyer, they want to value the property by a certified valuator. Lords, for which my party, my lords, is okay with. Subject to, my lords, we will also conduct, my lords, valuation of our own and
A release from parted, call this matter next week on the submission of learned counsel appearing for the petitioner that the parley talks are on between the parties. Okay. On date ಕೊಡಿ. Call this matter on. ಅವತ್ತು ಬರಬೇಕು. 16th of April. Okay.
Lordships, maybe on 20th or something like that.
No. 16th ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವು. ಹಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತ ಕೊಡೋದು. ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ಸ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಫ್ರಾಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ. Next.
Here for the respondent. Lord, on the last occasion, your lordship had called for the files from the committee, Lord, to be secured in sealed cover. The only issue here is whether the land of the petitioner.
ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವು. ಅದಲ್ಲ ಇದು.
ಅದಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಇದು ಬೇರೆ.
ಇದು ಬೇರೆ ಸರ್. That is before with Lordship Justice Joshi Sahab.
Another bench.
Yes.
Okay. It appears you have filed your written submissions yesterday.
Yes. Yesterday. But they filed it later, Lord. After they filed, Lord, I prepared my written submissions.
Correct. Because our other mail depend ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
Please.
ಇದೇನು ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಪಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ we cannot bring my brother ನಾ.
Please.
ಹಂಗೆ ಇಡ್ಬೇಕಾ? ಬೇಡ. ಈಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಪಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವತ್ತಿಗೆ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಪಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ ಅದ್ರ ಟೈಮ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ದೇನು ಮಾಡಿ. Release from parted.
Fix a date, fix any date, because your lordships have called for the records from the Keshav-Narayan committee, Justice Keshav-Narayan.
Okay. Call on 16 or 17. 17. Okay.
Please. Oh, bless.
ಯಾಕೆ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಅಷ್ಟು ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಈಗ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಡೇಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ಸೋದು ಬಟ್ ಅವ್ರು ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ವೆಕೇಶನ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಕ್ಸ್ಕೊತೀವಿ ಇವ್ರದ್ದು ನಮ್ದು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಫ್ರಾಮ್ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮಂಡೇ ಎಸ್ ಬ್ರದರ್ ಏನು
My lordship's kind permission. Serial number 5, my lord.
5.
My lords were pleased to call for the.
ಅದೇ ಒಂದು ಡೇಟ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೇವಿ ಈಗ ಓಕೆ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಇರಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ
Please.
ಎಸ್ ಆಮೇಲೆ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಪಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ನಾವು ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ರೆಸಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಎಸ್ ಟೈಮ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಆ ಕಡೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಕೈಯಿಂದ ಕೊಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತದೆ ಎಸ್ ಯಾರು ಬರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ presence of ಏನ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಸೇರಿಲ್ಲ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅಷ್ಟು ಬರ್ತೇವೆ ಅಬ್ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಡ್ತದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇದನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದೇ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ನಿಂದ ಇದೆಯಾ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಜ್ಯೂರಿಸ್ಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ ನಿಂದ ಇದೆಯಾ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಓಕೆ 2014 ಪಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆಲ್ ರೈಟ್ ಅದೊಂದು ಯಾವ್ದಾರು ಒಂದು ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ವೆಕೇಶನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮೊದಲು ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಡೇಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಕರ್ಸಕ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಫ್ರೈಡೆ 25th 26th ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗಲ್ವಾ? 25th ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನಾಟ್ 25ಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳಿ.
26ಕ್ಕೂ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಡೇ.
ಹಾ 26ಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡು. 26th 26th. ತಿಳಿಸ್ಬಿಡಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ. ಸರಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಹರ್ಡ್ ಲರ್ನೆಡ್ ಅಮಿಕಸ್ theory for some time. Okay. ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಆದಿತ್ಯ, kindly be seated. ಚರಟೆ